Here's the only part of the cow city folks see for breakfast. Then they grab a train for work. They gamble for a livelihood because this is a country where a man's best bet is his job. And youngsters going to free schools are democracy's best bet. Speaking of bets, meet Mr. and Mrs. Joe Dokes at that vital moment when he reaches for his morning slug of fruit juice. I bet she's the boss. Darling, I'll bet you don't know what day yesterday was. Monday. Monday? It was our anniversary, that's what it was. And here in these canyons, where the affairs of the world are settled, a bet becomes more practical and is sometimes named Fancy Pants. Well, hello. Looks like he has a good thing there. No, I don't mean the horse. Listen to the plunger. $2 across the board. Oh, well, it takes all kinds to make this a $2 billion a year pastime. I wonder... Oh. Bernie. Girls who work in offices shouldn't play their bosses' hosses. She bets 2 lunches and a malted milk. There they go. Fancy Pants is first away, then it's Posette, Hogan's Folly, and Crossfly. Hello, Mom. Around the far turn, they're running wide. At the quarter, Fancy Pants on the rail by a head, Crossfly by a length, and Hogan's Folly. At the half, it's Fancy Pants by a whisker and Posette. At the 3/4, Fancy Pants leads, and here comes Posette. They're in the stretch, neck and neck. Fancy Pants and Posette, Fancy Pants and Posette, Fancy Pants and Posette, and Posette wins. Is he regusted? It sure is dark around here when night comes to the city of chance. You don't need a horse to make a bet. Hit a ball, kick a ball, ride a bicycle. A lot of people will bet on anything, even on the art of interpretive dancing. These folks will gamble on a punch, and some people will even bet on a massage and a rub-down. For lots of people, betting begins at home. Come on, Elmer, play. You can be dummy all day tomorrow. Now, don't look at her. She always was a bad dream. That's it. Yeah. A brilliant play. Trumping the wife's ace is always good, clean fun. Here's somebody who doesn't want to stay home. I wonder what takes him out at night.
Evening, Frank.
Evening, Judge.
Got a taxi for me?
Have one waiting.
Good. $927 Collins Road.
Yes.
Young man, were you reading a copy of that paper known as the Racing News?
Yes, sir.
Are you one of those misguided individuals who bets on horse races?
Well, once in a while I take a little flyer, sir.
Married man?
Yes, sir.
Any children?
5.
Don't you think your life's enough of a gamble without betting on horses?
I guess you're right, Judge, but I didn't think...
Young man, let me tell you something. When I was a boy, my father said to me, don't you bet on horses.
Good evening, Judge.
You keep the change, driver.
Thanks.
And remember what I told you about backing horses.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Muscles.
Hello, Judge. How are they treating you?
Oh, no complaints, no indictments. It's a lovely evening.
Isn't she beautiful, Judge?
Well, I've never been able to figure out the right odds on love.
Boy, I sure fell for her, but she won't even give me a tumble.
Oh, faint heart never won fair lady. Evening, Molly.
Oh, good evening, Judge. What do you know?
What do I know? Well, all I know is you've only been here a week, and you've made a conquest.
Oh, Muscles. See, I can do better than the doorman in the gambling house.
Well, that may be, but Muscles is a good boy. He's got a great future.
Yeah, and back of him.
Well, I've known a lot of important people who started just like him, and now they've got their own yachts.
No, thanks. I've got other plans.
Oh, have you? Ha!
Hello, Judge.
Why, what's the matter, Passline?
I just talked to the hospital. She's no better and no worse.
Your wife?
No, nothing ever happens to her. 'Tis me daughter. I may be your grandfather before morning.
No! That's fine, fine. You ought to be very happy. Here.
No, Judge, I couldn't.
It's for the kid. Take it. Start a bank account for the boy.
Well, that's nice. How do you know it's going to be a boy?
I don't. but I'm willing to lay you 6-5 it is.
You got a bet. And I hope I lose.
Good evening, Judge.
Hello, Jane. Yeah.
Thank you.
What are you always arguing about? I tell you, Zeb didn't win the Derby.
I bet you he did.
I got $5 says he didn't.
Well, I can't put up for both of us. Evening, gentlemen.
Hello,
Judge.
Say, Judge, who won a Kentucky Derby in 1923?
23. Zeb. Oh, Sandy up. Ran the 1.25 miles in 2.5 2/5. Finest race I ever saw. And I didn't have a bet on him. Come on, partner, pay me the 5. The judge is never wrong. Well, gentlemen, I think it's time to have the wheels out. Okay, Judge. Right.
Say, Judge, Marty Connor's just gone up to see the boss.
Trouble?
I don't know, he's full of smiles.
That's bad. When Marty smiles, look out. Very nice, gentlemen. Bring on your suckers. Please, please. In here, we refer to the sucker as the customer. And don't you forget it. Hello, Beulah. Is my protege in the office?
Yes, sir. In there with Marty Connors.
You waiting for somebody?
Yeah, Marty Connors.
Take your hat off. Evening, Steve. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was intruding.
Come on in, Judge. You know Marty Connors.
I've had the pleasure.
Sure, I've known the judge since,
July the 4th, 1919, Toledo, Ohio. Dempsey Willard fight.
He's a great guy. He's got a memory like an elephant.
Marty wants to buy me out, Judge.
He keeps turning me down. It doesn't make sense.
What do you think?
If the price is right, I'd say take it, Steve.
Hey, what did I tell you? This is no place for a nice, clean-cut fella like you, Steve, is it, Judge?
The answer's no.
It's too bad. You won't sell, you won't take me in as a partner, you won't do anything. Too bad. It's your last chance, Steve. Going? Going?
Gone.
You've made a mistake, Stephen. A bad mistake.
You're a fine gambler, telling me to quit. Why don't you?
Oh, too late for me. I was born into this life, and I shall die in it. But you've still got a chance.
I can't quit now. Ever since I got out of college, I've been looking for a spot that would pay. And this is it. Sure, I'll quit. But not before I've made my stake.
What mark are you shooting for, Stephen?
$1 million.
It's a lot of money.
I'm only 800,000 short.
Times have changed, Stephen. People don't look on gamblers as they did when your father and I were partners. It's a new era.
But people still like to gamble.
Sure, but in my day, they looked on gamblers as sports. Gentlemen. They followed the frontier. They helped build an empire. They acted as bankers. They grub-staked the miners and workers and provided the amusement and relaxation. Today, it's a racket. They operate behind closed doors, hounded by the law. Now, Stephen, what sort of a life is that for you? You can't win. I know. Look here. Sooner or later, they'll get to you. You may get away and start again, but what then? The years will go on, and what will become of you? I'll tell you. You'll be just like me, with so much false pride you can't quit.
But, nurse, you told me 3 hours ago it would happen any minute. Who was excited? Well, how can I keep cool when you got me cooped up half the night in a hot phone booth? Certainly I've gone through this before. More times than you have.
It's Passline. He's about to become a grandfather.
I wish you'd sell out to Marty Connors.
I'll think it over, Judge. By the way, I heard you pawned your watch again this afternoon to bet on a horse. Now listen.
But the horse won.
I know, but why don't you come to me when you're broke?
No, thank you, Steve. Never borrow, never lose a friend.
Number 5 on the red.
5? That's me. I just knew it was going to hit.
Card, please. Another, please.
Why don't you stand on that, darling?
But I want your advice, Herbert. I'll ask for it. Card, please.
You see, you're over. I told you so.
I asked you to stop that. Doesn't the player have any rights in this house? What's the matter? Don't you want me to win?
Please, Fred, don't make any trouble.
What seems to be wrong, Mr. Walcott?
I told that stick man not to touch my dice with his left hand. I'm sorry, sir.
It's your superstition, Judge.
You keep quiet. I 7 every time he does it, and he knows it. He wants me to lose.
On the contrary, Mr. Walcott. A winner's our best advertisement.
Please, Fred, let's go home. Your luck is out tonight.
I'll stay till I get even. Now, please let me alone.
Next figure, come on.
Judge, would you okay this check, please? By the way, somebody's handing these out.
No. Huh. Have you got him spotted?
No, but he's got a lot of nerve. He even pasted one up in the washroom.
Well, I'll take care of this. Have you lost something, Mr. Murphy?
Oh, Judge, I'm in terrible difficulty.
What is it?
You didn't see a $5 bill lying around here, did you?
No.
Well, I lost a $5 bill over between Broadway and Elm.
Oh, why are you looking for it here?
Because there's more light here.
Now, what about a drink, Mr. Murphy?
I think it's a splendid idea, Judge. Oh, pardon me. What have they done with the bar? That's what I want to know.
It's where it always was, here to your left.
Oh, no. 5 minutes ago, it was directly to my right.
Oh, you're topsy-turvy, eh?
No, I'm still Murphy.
Come along. Come along. Bill, give Mr. Murphy a drink.
Good evening, Judge.
Good evening, Mr. Taylor.
Hello, Bill.
Bill will take care of that.
It's a wonderful boat. There's not a bit of movement.
Is this your first crossing?
Triple martini.
Evening, Mr. Champion.
Hiya, Muscles.
Muscles? I do declare.
Well, here we are, honey. The most exclusive gambling house in the city, just as I promised.
I'm just thrilled to death, Mr. Champion.
Now, look, Sugar, if we're going to spend the evening together, you better start calling me Champ. All my friends do.
Well, if you insist, Champ. Sure you don't mind?
Hiya, Judge.
Good evening, Mr. Champion.
May I present Miss Julie Reynolds? She's from Texas, where most of the pretty girls come from.
How do you do, Miss Reynolds?
I'm just too excited for work.
Your first time here?
Yes. I've heard of Steve Walker's famous place, but none of my friends are important enough to get me through the bronze portal.
I am. What about a drink to celebrate?
Celebrate what?
Let's have the drink first. We'll think of something later.
Oh, Judge, isn't that Laura Abbott?
Yes, it is, yes.
But don't tell me the man with her is her husband of all people.
Yes, that's Mr. Abbott.
Who's the other man?
His best friend. Oh, have one with us, Judge.
I thank you, no.
He never touches the stuff.
I've never found a drink as intoxicating as a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
What did I tell you? The judge is terrific.
Well, I'm glad to know that chivalry isn't dead. Isn't that Kitty King the chorus girl who shot her gentleman friend last year?
Yes. You have a wonderful memory for faces, Miss Reynolds.
Well, even in Texas, we know everything that goes on in cafe society.
What would you like to drink?
A pink parachute.
A what?
Well, don't tell me you don't know how to make pink parachutes up here in the north.
Lady, I've been mixing drinks ever since I was old enough to look over the edge of a bar. But I ain't never heard of a pink parachute.
You tell him how to make a change.
Well, you take a jigger of, oh, you know, better look it up in the book and fix me an old-fashioned.
Is Steve Walker anywhere around?
Yes, I think so.
I've heard so much about him. I'm just dying to meet him.
You have your wish, Miss Reynolds.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Bess.
Hello, Steve.
Joe?
Is that Steve Walker?
Hey, Steve. Got a minute? He's a good guy.
Take a seat, boy.
Thank you.
Steve, I want you to meet the most beautiful girl that ever left Texas. And she's just been dying to meet you.
Texas loss is our game.
Oh, I knew you'd be nice.
Having a good time, Mr. Champion?
Call me Champ. Everybody does.
That's an awfully nice nickname, don't you think so, Mr. Walker? It's almost as nice as Lazy Biscuit.
Lazy Biscuit? Where'd you ever hear that?
Why'd you guess? Well, if you men will excuse me, I've got to make a telephone call. My Auntie Boo worries about me something awful if I don't call her. Now, don't go away, Champ. I'll be back in a minute.
Excuse me, I've got something to attend to.
I pick 'em, don't I?
You certainly do. There's something about that girl. Where'd you say she was from?
Oh, she says she's from Texas. She picked me up in the cocktail lounge at the Carlton.
Picked you up, huh?
Sure.
Yes, I got in all right.
Oh, never mind how I'm in. I'm still shaking.
Yeah, I knew you'd do it, Miss Reynolds. She got in. I told you she would. Julie Reynolds has got more nerve than any reporter on my staff. Now, remember your instructions. I want you to gamble, get evidence, and above all, get that story.
I promised my readers we'd close up Walker's place, and I can't do it without the evidence.
Julie, listen, I want you to find out where Walker keeps his gambling equipment. Got that? I've got the DA standing by for a raid the minute you give me the flash.
Right. Oh, now, aren't you sweet to wait for me? Where's my boyfriend?
Oh, he's in the shooting gallery, waiting for you.
Oh, there's no rush. Oh, one-armed bandits. And for quarters. You know, Mr. Walker, I could play. If I had a quarter.
I get it. There you are.
You're so kind. We'll go 50-50.
Okay.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I just can't stand to see it go round. Whoa!
I've never seen it fail. I've seen people come in here and feed these machines all night long, never win a thing. But you walk in, drop in a quarter.
And hit the jackpot. You brought me luck. Oh, one half of this is yours, you know.
Why don't you see how good your luck really is? Try the dice table.
Oh, no, not until you let me buy you a drink.
Okay.
I'm just having loads of fun.
Steve.
Oh, no, you don't. You're bringing me luck. Now, sit down.
Anything wrong, Judge?
There's a newspaper man in the house, Steve.
Oh, but how thrilling. Do you think he's going to write a story about the play?
Excuse me, lady. I looked all through the bartender's guide. I can't find anything about a pink parachute.
As soon as they have the story, they're going to tip off the DA.
Oh, they are, huh?
Do you know who the reporter is?
Oh, yeah, sure. There he is.
Have him watch, Judge. Don't let him get to a phone. Don't let him leave until we close.
Oh, you're keeping him a prisoner, but how simply thrilling.
Yeah. Well, how about that drink?
Oh, of course.
We'll watch that reporter together.
Oh, that's fine. What would you like?
Whatever you're having's all right with me.
Well, now, aren't you sweet? I'm going to have a pink parachute.
Billy, the lady would like a pink... What in the world is that?
Oh, you just love it. It's a new Southern drink. They call it that because when you drink it, it falls about 300 feet and then opens.
Sounds terrific. What's in it?
Well, you take 6 ounces of brandy.
6 ounces of brandy?
Uh-huh. Then a jigger of gin.
Jigger of gin.
Then you take the juice of half a lime and just a teeny-weeny dash of straight bourbon.
Straight bourbon?
Then just a dash of Cointreau.
Cointreau?
Then you put in some crushed mint leaves, rim the glass with powdered sugar, and put a nice red cherry on top.
And a nice white lily on your chest.
Oh, you just love it. Wouldn't you like to try it?
If you don't mind, I'll stick to scotch and soda. I thought all Southern girls drank straight bourbon.
Oh, but I'm different.
I'm beginning to believe that. You know, when I first saw you tonight, I thought, no, it can't be.
What can't be, Mr. High Pockets?
High Pockets? For the love of Mike, your pug nose.
Remember me, partner? The Reynolds rat from Buddyville, Texas.
Why, the last time I saw you, you were in pigtails.
Time marches on. You see, the pigtails are gone, but some people still think I'm a brat.
Well, how long have you been up north? What are you doing with yourself? Where do you live?
Still the same old High Pockets, always asking questions.
Still the same old pug nose, never giving any answers.
Excuse me, lady. Was that 6 ounces of brandy and a dash of Cointreau, or 6 ounces of Cointreau and a dash of brandy?
6 ounces of brandy.
The last time I saw you, we went to one of the local dances together.
That's right. I stole my sister's only evening gown and had to climb out of the window.
Remember how the dress caught on a nail and you hung there?
I was scared to death. I couldn't climb back and I couldn't climb down.
And you remember I ran to the gardener's shed and brought out a ladder?
I'll never forget it. I was only 15 then, but I pretended we were eloping. Did you?
Well, to be perfectly frank with you, no. All I could think of was to get away from there before your father discovered us and beat the daylights out.
Oh, don't tell me you were scared.
I think something about you has always scared me just a little.
Why don't you scare someone your own size? Like me, maybe. A boom! Old poker puss. He never smiles unless the house is winning. Oh, the white zombie.
Darn clever, these newspaper men.
He doesn't fool us, though, does he?
Here you are, lady. Good luck.
To the pug nose I used to know.
I may have changed, High Pockets.
Oh, there you are, Miss Texas.
Well, I've been here all the time.
Will you excuse me for just a moment?
Oh, but Steve, you haven't finished your drink.
Be right back.
Oh.
What do you say we try the dice table? Maybe you'll change my luck.
All right.
Are you...
What about her?
Yes.
Absolutely. I heard her myself on the cut-in phone when she was in this booth.
Why should she want to do this to me?
I don't know. Just maybe she has a job to do.
A job? Sneaking in here, pretending to be some innocent little girl, and then tipping off the cops?
It takes all kinds of people to make a world, Steve. Particularly a world like this. She's clever, don't you forget it. You're fighting to keep this place open. She's here with only one purpose, to close you up.
I know.
Oh, Miss Walker.
Remember what I told you, Steve?
Hello? Oh, hello, Marty. What's on your mind? No, not a chance. The answer's still no.
Well, you can't say I never gave a pal a chance. If you're absolutely sure, I won't be seeing you again. So long, Steve.
Stop clowning, will you?
Charlie, that job is yours, and don't try to collect unless you make good.
Okay, Marty. That's good enough for me.
Come on, sugar, throw that natural.
I've never seen such a...
What do I do now, champ?
What'll you do? 13 straight passions, you want to know what to do.
I would be playing against her.
Let it ride, honey. You're hotter than a firecracker. She'll break you, Steve. Stick around, watch a real master work.
And to think I gave you that first quarter.
How are you, partner? Look what I got.
Coming out.
Place your bets, baby.
Why don't you play with her, Fred?
Don't bother me.
Yes, Mr. Walker, why don't you come over on my side? It's more fun and more money.
I'll make my own bets if you don't mind.
Well, sure money. Hang on, here we go.
Come on, Texas. Remember the Alamo.
Oh!
You did it.
Steve, I'm so excited.
Such luck in my...
It's Lois Carlyle, last year's public debutante #1.
So it is. Well.
Steve,
Good to see you again, Miss Carlyle.
Well, this is like old times. How was Europe?
Hey, champ, you shoot for me a minute.
Sure.
Next sugar coming out.
Place your bets.
We're changed all our plans.
And we're certainly glad to be home.
We've got some bad news for you, Steve.
Oh?
No more gambling.
We've turned respectable.
Well, good for you.
Ted, should we tell them?
Of course. Steve and the judge are old friends.
Well, the minute we docked, we made a dash for Gretna Green.
What? You
Yes!
don't say. Yes, married this morning. Oh, that's good.
Congratulations to both of you. You certainly deserve each other.
I'm still so excited I can hardly see straight. Imagine me eloping.
Steve.
Does anyone know about this?
Oh, no, not even our parents.
You don't want the reporters to get hold of it, do you?
Oh, no, my father'd never forgive me if he read it in the papers first.
Mm-hmm. Judge, I'll join you in a few minutes.
Good. This calls for champagne.
Oh,
Come along.
Yes.
I'm expecting a very important call.
Oh, are you? Well, I'm afraid I got here first.
I think I was here first, Miss Reynolds.
Oh, no, you were not.
Why, Molly, don't you know that our guests are given preference at all times?
Oh, sure. Anything you say, Mr. Walker?
Thanks, Steve.
Pardon me.
Here she is.
Evening Standard, good evening. City desk, 1 minute, please.
Hello, Cadogan. Is this a city desk? You don't sound like Cadogan.
I've got a bad cold, Julie. Yeah? Lois Carlyle. Married to Theodore Blane. I got it.
Secret marriage in high society. Their parents don't know it yet.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that around lately. Love, I mean. Oh, Julie, go on home. No raid tonight. The boss left an hour ago.
Swell. Now my conscience won't bother me if I win some more.
I didn't know you had a conscience. Good night. Nice work, Molly. Thanks.
Hello, Marty? Yeah. You don't have to worry about a thing. Oh, there's a dame here from Texas who's got him so hogtied he don't know if he's coming or going.
Thanks, babe. Keep watching him and keep reporting to me.
The window curtains.
Oh, yeah. Pull back the curtains in the office window. Don't ask questions. Do as I say and don't touch anything.
Oh, don't scold, Marty. I'm seeing you later, ain't I, honey? Swell. Same place? Same time? Uh-huh. Goodbye, honey.
Number 6 in the black.
They took me to the cleaners, Daddy.
Don't worry your pretty little head about that. Here, there's another 100.
How can you lose when you don't bet?
You run your racket and I'll run mine. I'll be back in a minute, Daddy.
All right, baby.
Hello, Paul. You don't want to bet $25 on a number, do you?
Oh, but I do.
Suppose you lose.
I can't lose. I didn't have anything to start with. What number would you suggest?
Oh, I never advise a customer.
Oh, but I'm more than a customer. I'm a partner.
Sorry, it's a house rule.
I know. I was just 15 the first time I met you. 15, please.
15. You consider that a lucky number?
I do. That's just the number I'm going to bet.
15 in the black.
Now, do you believe me, High Pocket?
If your luck keeps up, you'll soon own this place.
How much do you wish to bet this time, lady?
Well, how much is in there?
$875.
Oh, no, I know and I've had enough.
If my calculations are right, you've well over 5,000 in there now.
Oh, no, hardly that.
Have you counted them all?
Yes, but...
Those yellow chips with the C in the middle are worth $100 each.
What? Well, you better take me away from here. I need a drink.
18 red.
Thank you.
Come on over here. Sit down. Well, Passline, everything 6-2 and even at the hospital?
I don't know, Mr. Walker. The jury is still out.
Well, don't worry so much about it. Go get yourself a cup of coffee.
Thank you, sir.
And have the waiter bring Miss Reynolds a pink parachute.
A pink what chute?
Billy knows how to make them. And a scotch and soda.
Okay, Mr. Walker.
Well, Pug Nose, how does it feel to be rich?
I haven't caught my breath yet.
What are you going to do with all that money?
Pay off the mortgage on the old ranch.
What? Oh, you're kidding.
No, I mean it. You remember the place, don't you?
Sure I do.
Whatever happened to the ranch you were going to get?
You mean to say you remember my talking about that?
I remember everything you ever said or did. You know, you'd make a fine rancher. A little tan on that nightclub complexion, you might even pass for a real Texan again.
How do you think I'd look in a 10-gallon hat?
I'd love you in one pot. It's strange finding you here, isn't it, Steve?
Oh, I don't know.
When you were a kid, you had a lot of big dreams. You used to talk to me of the things you were going to do. You even described the ranch to me. The corral and the ponies, the herds of cattle on the hill, even the hacienda with all the flowers growing around it.
And when you find me again, I'm running a gambling house.
Yes. How'd it happen, Steve?
You know, Julie, you're prettier than you ever were.
Don't change the subject. Tell me.
It's a funny thing, too. Because your eyes are just the same, and your hair's just the same, but you're prettier.
Steve, I want to tell you something.
What is it, Dan?
Pardon me, you're wanted at the door, Mr. Walker.
All right. Bill.
Yes, sir.
Will you take over here, please?
Surely.
Excuse me, I'll be back in a minute.
Of course.
Honey, we told Steve we wouldn't gamble.
But this is the first time I've gambled as your wife. Oh, darling, I love it.
You love it, and I'm stuck $1,000.
Oh?
I'll go get some more chips.
Oh, all right.
18 red.
Why, Lois, you always bet on number 13. May I congratulate the bride?
Thank you. I thought you'd...
That I'd gone to South America? Well, I did. But you know the boat sails both ways.
Oh, yes, of course.
You must allow me to buy a drink for the bride.
Oh, thank you.
To B&B. My dear, I have no desire to hurt you. I merely suggested this method of returning your letters, well, because at the moment I happen to be financially embarrassed.
I simply won't pay you anymore. I can't.
But, my dear, you haven't given the matter any thought. I would if I were you, Mrs. Blaine. I'll call you in the morning. Just one B&B.
Steve? It came from the... It's in your office, Mr. Walker.
What's the matter? What happened here?
The gun went off accidentally. Come on now, I think you better sit down.
What's wrong, Judge?
Anything
Everything's perfectly all right, ladies. An electric light bulb exploded.
Well, it did sound like a gun.
Take it easy, Lois. Nothing's going to happen to you.
You've got to help me.
Of course we'll help you, but what is it?
Do you know the Baron Joseph?
Yes.
He's been threatening me.
Threatening?
Yes, I met him last year when I was traveling in the south of France with my family. I thought I was in love with him, and I wrote him some letters. I didn't know the kind of a man he was.
The old racket, eh?
He'd do anything. 4 months ago, I paid him a large sum of money.
After he promised to return your letters, instead of which he sent you a phony package, eh?
Yes. How did you know?
I've met a lot of Baron Josephs in my time.
I wanted to tell Ted, but...
I wouldn't do that, dear.
But the Baron will tell him. I know he will.
I don't think so.
Please, you've got to help me.
You go and ask Ted to take you home. You're tired and upset.
But I'm afraid.
He's right, Lois. Go on home and try to forget what happened here. We'll do everything we can to help you.
Of course we will.
You've been very kind.
I'll phone you in the morning. What's going on in this room, Miss Reynolds, must go no further than this room.
Why, I don't know what you mean, Judge.
He means your paper mustn't print anything about this.
Print? Then you knew I was a reporter.
Certainly, we knew it all the time. Your job was to close me up. My job was to stay open.
That girl's in love with you, Steve.
She's got a funny way of showing it.
Get down. I warned you, Steve. You wouldn't believe me.
What are you talking about?
Marty Connors.
Oh. Look.
Julie Reynolds, huh?
She saved my life, Judge.
Will you be long?
I'm afraid so, miss. This is the time I call my boyfriend. And my, oh my, he sure is jealous. Wants to know everything I do.
I see.
Oh, excuse me.
I'd like my coat, please. I'm leaving.
Oh, just a minute, Miss Reynolds. My kid brother's awfully sick, and I'm calling my mother to find out how he is. You understand, don't you?
Yes. Yes, I'm beginning to.
Thank you.
Just a minute, miss.
Well, what's the trouble?
We just got a tip some cops are waiting outside.
Well, what's that got to do with me?
Nothing, miss. It's just we make it a point to protect our customers.
Well, I don't need protection.
Maybe you don't, but nobody leaves this place. Sorry, them's orders.
What's the matter, Julie?
You know very well what's the matter.
Are you upset about something, Miss Reynolds?
You bet I'm upset.
Well, you must tell us all about it. The comfort of our customers is our first concern, isn't it, Judge?
Oh, absolutely.
You're deliberately keeping me away from the telephone.
Deliberately? Them strong words, partner.
What's more, you gave orders to keep me a prisoner.
Did you hear what I heard, Judge?
I think, Miss Reynolds, if you'll excuse me, I'll,
Well, you're not as clever as you think you are. I did manage to get through to my city editor earlier this evening.
Oh, did you?
Yes, and furthermore, I gave him the story about the Blane marriage.
Sorry to disillusion you, pug nose, but we had to take steps to prevent that, too. You see, the phone booth connects with my office.
You mean I was actually talking to you?
That's right.
Well, of all the... You listen to me now. I've taken all I'm going to. If you don't let me get to a phone or allow me to leave, I'll raise the roof. That's what I'll do. I'll yell, I'll kick, and I'll scream till you'll be glad to let me go.
Take it easy, will you?
I won't take it easy. Do I get out or do I start yelling?
Mr. Ray! Just a moment, please. No cause for alarm. If you'll all be good enough to go into the bar, the house is buying a drink.
What's the matter? This guy stepped on the warning button and thinks it's funny.
I found it all right, Steve. I've never seen such a funny stampede.
See that Mr. Murphy gets home.
Yes.
Oh, here.
It's all right, ladies and gentlemen. Just a false alarm. You can all go back to your play now, if you wish.
They can stay, but I'm leaving.
Now, don't make it tough for me, Julie.
I warned you. You can't stop me.
All right. Go ahead. I'm so sorry, Miss Reynolds.
What's the matter, miss? It's my dress. I had an accident.
I'll sew it for you.
No, thank you. Just get me a needle and thread and I'll do it myself.
Yes, sir. But, George, I'm sure it'll be all right. He's getting tighter and tighter, and when he passes out, I'll just put him in a cab. Then you and I could go places.
I never wanted to turn the other cheek.
So my husband loses blackjack. They let me win at roulette.
Oh, I found that out weeks ago. But you know what I did?
What?
I invented a husband. Oh, I've done all right, too.
Oh, it's too much trouble to invent one. I marry him.
Get her.
Beulah, come here.
Just a minute. Clever, these Chinese.
Yes, sir? Beulah, cash these chips for me.
I might get in trouble, Miss Kitty. You know your gentleman friend gave you that money to gamble with, not to cash in.
What he doesn't know won't hurt him.
Keep the usual 10%, Beulah.
All right, how much you got?
Well, there's 100 in my stack and 50 in each of those.
That makes 200. All right, I'll do it, but don't say nothing to the judge about it, because if he finds out, he'd skin me alive.
Mum's the word.
Here's my stack.
Don't worry about a thing, Beulah.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, Helen, it'll come out all right. Oh, it won't. I know it won't.
Kitty, this is wonderful.
And very profitable. Thank you, Beulah.
Thank you, Miss
Thank you.
Bennett.
Thank you.
Is that you, Bill? Could you meet me in half an hour? He'll be out cold by then.
Fred keeps promising me he'll quit, but he always comes back, night after night.
Oh, don't worry. It'll work out all right.
But, Dorothy, we can't afford to lose any more. We're in debt. But I know what I'm going to do.
What are those?
Loaded dice.
Well, what are you going to do?
I can't stop Fred, but I can stop Steve Walker.
How?
If I can slip these into the game and someone finds them, no one will ever play here again.
I think that's a pretty mean thing to do to Steve Walker.
He isn't going to pay our bills, is he? I'm going to do it. I've got to.
Goodbye. You can have the phone now, dear, eh?
Thanks.
And so are you.
$500's his limit, Dan.
Okay.
Steve!
Hello. You in one piece again?
Steve, listen, I've got to tell you something.
Well, before you do that, I want to return this to you.
Thanks.
Thank you. You saved my life.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you about it later. In the meantime...
But, Steve, listen.
You've had a pretty hectic night. Now, why don't you go up to the ladies' lounge and lie down for a while?
But I don't want to lie down. I'm trying to warn you against...
Oh, threatening me, huh?
If you won't listen to me, you deserve everything you're going to get.
Is that all you've got to say to me?
That's all.
Seven the loser.
I'll take the dice.
Ladies coming out. Place your bets, please. Place your bets, please.
Why did you do that?
That's not allowed, Miss Reynolds.
What's wrong here?
Miss Reynolds picked up the dice just as Mrs. Walcott was coming out.
Well, that's a player's privilege, isn't it, to examine the dice at any time?
Yes, but I...
Well, I think I'll just keep these as a souvenir. I'm sure Mrs. Walcott doesn't mind.
Come on, let's get out of this place.
Next shooter, place your bets, please. Next shooter, place your bets, please.
That was a close shave. Thanks, Julie.
Don't thank me. Just let me use the phone.
Why, Julie, there are plenty of telephones around here.
Yes, and isn't it funny how they're always busy? Now listen, Steve, you've just got to let me get out of here.
You've done me a great favor, but I can't let you go. Why don't you do what I told you? Go upstairs and lie down for a while. Then when we close up, I'll take you home. Might even buy you breakfast.
Oh, you...
Just do as I tell you, sister, and nothing will happen to you. Get in there. Keep your trap shut.
Better go down and check the receipts, Judge.
Okay, Stephen.
Julie, how'd you get in there?
He put me in there. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. Can't say as much for him.
Charlie Niven, one of Marty's playmates.
Julie, you do me more favors and get into more trouble.
How did you know he was up here?
When that closet door opened, it set off a signal downstairs.
What's the matter?
You forgot to duck, that's all.
This gun's been fired, and not so very long ago either.
You got me all wrong.
Why'd you try to get me?
Come on, Charlie, talk. Steve never did you any harm.
I wasn't doing nothing, Walker. I just stopped in
To shoot some dice, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it, dice.
Come on, Charlie.
Say, you ain't gonna turn me over to the cops, are you?
Of course not. I'll buy you a drink. We can forget all about this, can't we, Steve?
What? Yeah, sure.
You ain't gonna Say, that's pretty swell of you.
Come on.
Steve, how in the world can you stay in this kind of a business?
Well, sometimes it has its compensations.
It's too bad that a smart young fellow like you has to do this sort of thing to get along.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Had some bad breaks, I know. And just finished a 2-year stretch, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Needed money, I suppose, eh?
Well, you know, it's kind of tough making a fresh start.
I know. Yeah.
What's this for?
An investment in friendship, shall we say.
Thanks, Judge. $100. Say, if you ever need a favor...
Forget it. An old pal of yours over there, I think.
He's no pal of mine. Ever since they sprung me, he's been ducking me.
I wonder why.
Dan, do you know if Mr. and Mrs. Blaine have left?
I'm not sure, sir. Do you want me to?
No, don't bother. It's unimportant.
Did it ever occur to you that someone might have squealed on you to the police?
Are you trying to tell me that... He might have at that. Yeah. He was the only one of the old mob that knew my hideout. 2 years. 2 years in the big house just because that dirty rat put the finger on me.
Charlie, I don't want any trouble in here.
There won't be no trouble in here.
Well, you'd excuse me. I got some business to attend to. Stick around and enjoy yourself.
Okay, Judge.
Hello?
Hello, Lois? This is the judge. I just rang up to tell you that everything's all right.
Did he say that? You haven't talked to him yet. Well, then how can everything be all right?
I can't say any more than that on the phone, but take my word for it. Yes, my dear. Good night. Oh, Lois, don't be upset by anything you see in the paper tomorrow morning. Good night, my dear. Come in.
You want me?
Steve told me to take a nap, but I can't. Tell me, is every night as hectic as this one?
Huh. Sometimes we have a raid as well. Won't you sit down?
Judge, isn't there anything you can do to make Steve quit?
I've tried.
This is no place for him.
I know that, but when a man's young, he won't take advice. And when he's my age, he doesn't need it.
But he'll be killed.
I told him that, but he won't listen.
He's the same stubborn Steve I knew in Texas. And that's where he belongs. Not here in this atmosphere. Doing business behind closed doors, with the law ready to grab him if he steps out and enemies waiting to kill him if he doesn't.
Shall I tell you something?
What?
You're in love with him.
Yes, I always have been, I guess. And I always will be.
And you want to get him out of here?
That's right. And I know just how to do it if you'd let me.
Let you do what?
Use the phone.
There you are.
Thanks, Molly.
Hello, Baron.
hello, Charlie.
Going my way?
No, I'm sorry. I've got an appointment.
Well, that's not like you, turning down an old pal. Let's go.
It's a swell night out, gents.
Yeah.
You'll never know what I went through to get this, Chief, but I got it.
That's swell, Julie. I knew I'd pick the right girl for the job. Now listen, the DA and the squad are standing by. The flash ought to bring them in 5 minutes. You stick right there and get the eyewitness story of the raid. Got that?
Right. Judge, why don't you clear out of here? You don't want to get mixed up in this.
And let Steve face it alone? No.
Hi, Steve. Hello, Marty. What do you know?
Save your money. Hi, Molly.
Hello.
You certainly got here in a hurry.
Came right over. What's the rush, Steve? Couldn't we close this deal tomorrow?
I wanted to clear out tonight.
What changed your mind about selling?
Somebody convinced me I didn't belong here. Oh, Julie, don't forget our breakfast date.
Hi, Judge.
Who is that?
Marty Connor.
You mean the man who tried to have Steve killed?
Uh-huh.
Well, shouldn't we do something?
Oh, Steve can take care of himself. Besides, Marty came alone. Marty doesn't do his dirty work himself.
Well, what does he want with Steve?
Making a last attempt to buy the place, I suppose. But if I know anything about Steve, he's getting nowhere.
Well, it's all here. Nice, fresh $1,000 bills. Made them myself this morning. I'm only kidding, Steve.
All right, here it is. You get the house, the grounds, and all the legal fixtures.
That's all I said I'd buy.
Here's the bill of sale. Good old trusting Marty.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, young fella, watch me put some class into this joint. What's that? Oh, no, you don't. Stay right where you are. Nice work, Miss Reynolds. You should get a bonus.
Julie will be on the street and with pictures before any of our competitors know what it's all about.
Where's Steve Walker? Mac, Jerry. I'm telling you for the last time, give me back my dough.
A deal's a deal, Marty.
So is a double cross. Come on.
Steve!
All right, boys, bring it up. This is curtains for you, Steve.
What for?
They tell me it's against the law to run a gambling house.
Sure, that's what I was telling Marty Connors.
What are you doing here, Marty?
Nice place he has here. That is, it was until you fellas dropped in.
What are you talking about?
I just sold it to him. You'll find the bill of sale in his pocket. Quite legal, I think.
I guess you're the sucker, Marty. Take him down to the station, Max.
Steve.
Don't worry, Pugnose. I'll be out on bail in a couple of hours. And I think the corral should be here.
You know, Steve, I think the house should face south, because in the summertime...
Oh, no, not south. You can't have a house
Now, don't be
facing the south.
ridiculous. I know just as much about the...
Oh, got the ranch all built, eh?
Practically. Did you take care of the boys?
Yep. Paid all their fines, gave them $200 each, as you said.
Fine. Here.
What's that for?
Your commission. You helped close the deal, didn't you?
Oh, thank you, Steve.
Judge, why don't you buy a chicken ranch or something and settle down?
Oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Goodbye, Stephen. All the luck in the world to you. And you too, Julie. Who knows, if I'd met somebody like you when I was Stephen's age, things might have been different.
Thank you.
Oh, Judge. Oh, what's the matter, Passline?
Here. Here's your money. I lost the bet.
Bet? Oh, the baby! Hey, you're giving me too much. Bet was $5, not 10.
Oh, no. I'm paying off double odds. Me daughter had twins.
Oh, that's fine.
Congratulations, Passline.
Come on, Passline, you and I must celebrate. Goodbye, Stephen. Don't forget to pay your income tax.
I never argue with a man with the whiskers.
You're going to miss him, Steve.
Yeah. He's been like a father to me.
Taxi!
Well, where do we go from here?
I've got a sum of money that's burning a hole in my pocket.
What are you going to do with it?
Go on, get in, get in. You know the SS Queen?
Do I? I paid for her smokestack.
What are we waiting for? SS Queen and hurry. Thank you.